the debacle called an inauguration. Let me first begin with a Republican who still has integrity as it relates to Trump and his, well, let's just say, political parties. Here it is.
Notable comments from Senator Tom Tillis, a Republican from the state of North Carolina. He often talks about how he was one of the last Republican and senators leaving that chamber on January 6th. And he told us that he simply just can't agree with the decision that Trump made to pardon or commute the sentences of January 6th attackers, especially those who attacked police officers. He said he does have plans to file legislation later today that would strengthen some of the penalties for people who kill police officers. He also said that he has concerns about what it means for security on Capitol Hill. Here's what he said.
That police officers could potentially be assaulted and there's no consequence. I mean, it's pretty straightforward to me.
Thank you, sir.
Senator, can I just ask you, have you talked to any Capitol police officers this morning? What is their reaction?
Well, I haven't talked to them. I wouldn't expect them to react because they're professionals, and if they're not happy about it, they will probably say that outside of this building. I wouldn't expect a single police officer to say a word about it.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is anti-police, but he has always been antithetical to anything that challenged his authority. Now, if you need additional proof, you really don't need it, but if you need additional proof that Donald Trump animated that crowd to do exactly what they did, this is all you need. Day one, he lets his posse go. What does this mean for the future of the Capitol Police? It means that Donald Trump can animate them again to engage in violence and simply give them a pardon. This time it will be preemptive, likely. Let's talk about it. President Donald Trump pardoned more than 1,500 people on Monday, charged in the Capitol attack. This was a terrorist attack, in my humble opinion, January 6, 2021. Fulfilling a campaign pledge, critics said would, quote, endorse attacks on democracy. That figure would represent almost all of the nearly 1,600 people who were charged in the riot by the 4th anniversary, Jan 6. According to the Justice Department, about 1,270 had been convicted, 1,100 had been sentenced. By that point, the department said. Now, I'm going to get into the inauguration in just a moment. Now, I want to remind you about these Jan 6 rioters, these domestic terrorists, in my view. Many of them pleaded guilty. Many of them said, yes, I did it. I was wrong. I should not have. Some of them have even confessed to being part of an indoctrination program, a cult. Doesn't matter. According to Trump and the other biggest that support him, they were railroaded. Now, I want to remind you of this also. 100% of those individuals who decided to take bus, plane, and train to DC to attack the US Capitol in order to stop their actual reason for being there was to stop a certification of an election. They were all volunteers. They were all volunteers. Which means I have to do more, you have to do more, we have to do more. How did the inauguration go down? Let's look at it. Here it is.
Now the boos are picking up again, as you can imagine. You have former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and obviously former President Bill Clinton as well. The crowd here is getting a little more raucous as it's filling out. About 20,000 inside of the Capitol real time, and how sort of MAGA world is watching. Big boos right now, as you can imagine. I don't know if you guys can hear it over my mic, but
boy, is that striking.
Former President Obama, former President Obama getting a resounding, as we would say in New York, a Bronx cheer here.
Wow. And we're going to get to the Snoop thing in another segment, but wow, right? This is the crowd. This is MAGA. And for the Republicans who were the last holdouts, I guess they're all MAGA now, as Donald Trump Jr. told them, there is no Republican Party anymore. What does that mean? As much as I disagree with Republican ideology and policy, because I believe it hurts everyday people, they at least had one. They at least had a policy. They at least had some semblance of ideology, but now it is about personality over policy, personality over politics, personality over law. Speaking of disrespect, put it up. Country music star Carrie Underwood sparked outrage on social media Monday after appearing to snub former Vice President Kamala Harris by deliberately deciding to not shake her hand following her performance at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. There. But she did make sure to shake Biden's hand. Meanwhile, Elon Musk drew immediate public outrage during a Trump inauguration celebration event. Why? After delivering remarks at the inaugural parade Monday afternoon, Musk appeared to deliver the Nazi salute to at least 20,000 Trump supporters inside the Capitol One Arena in Washington, D.C. Keep the picture up. You see, this is called speaking code, but the code is not that complex to decipher. Why do you think the crowd went wild when he did that? Why do you think they had such a celebratory applause? Because they understood the code immediately. They were happy that he did it. And they get to say while being interviewed, oh no, he was just saying his heart goes out to the people. Well, if he said that, I guarantee you he would not have received that kind of applause. He had to do the salute. The salute got him the applause. Here we go. All right. We're here now. This is the America that many wanted. This is the America that you got. What will happen? Well, we don't know, but I will tell you this. Those that fought in the late 50s, 60s, and the early 70s, they likely had it worse than we have it today. So there's hope. And we still have to push the ultimate agenda. The agenda is not to simply turn in and implode on each other because the adversary seems to be victorious. The idea is to double down on the reason why we fight in the first place. Not because we agree with everyone who's on our side, but because we agree that the other side is dangerous as hell. Brother Tehran, thoughts?
Well, first, let me begin with the alleged Nazi salute of Elon Musk. I think that we're making too big a deal out of this. Why are we upset that a now newly appointed high-ranking government official, South African apartheid benefiting multi-billionaire oligarch is making alleged Nazi salute? That wasn't, he was giving his heart out to everyone. Have you never done that? Do you not do gestures like, this is put key in the hole? You know, this, I want to eat a sandwich. You've never done a gesture.
No, sir.
Accidentally. I don't know what his intent is. However, even if he had good intent, the path to hell has always been paved in good intent. My problem is that now that he's a newly appointed high-ranking government official and advisor, that his gestures, even if they are misinterpreted, can be interpreted and have implications that are political and otherwise. And that is why that this is not okay. That was a lapse in judgment, something that I cannot have and do not want for my high-ranking government appointee. That is all. I do not know how these people are making all these excuses. I need to find a girl like that who will make excuses for me the way they're making excuses for them. As far as the pardons, we should never talk about Joe Biden or President Obama or Clinton or even Bush's pardons ever again. Pardoning 1,500 plus January 6th rioters is inexcusable for the simple reason that it validates, justifies, and literally pardons the behavior of people who attempted to storm the Capitol and cause a civil war. What they did was treason. If that had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesters doing the same out of anguish for racism in this country, would we have seen those pardons? If that was a group of Muslim people who were basically protesting religious intolerance in this nation, would we have seen those pardons? Or would we have used words like terrorists? That is what they are. They were terrorists. I do not care about the group thing. People who jump others, they stomp others out, they get convicted of groupthink every single day. That is what happens. There is consequences to your actions. And that is what the president has shown us a lack of. It's not about the politics. It's about the principles. This is abhorrent behavior. It is now justifying disrespect.
And for the GOP senator who articulated the facts correctly, who said he can't agree with this kind of pardon, understand that there is an allowance not only inside of the Republican Party, but inside of the ranks of power, period, that would allow something like this to stand. And as we continue to dissect where we are in America, make no mistake about it. As you said, dear brother, and as I've echoed before, if their last names would have been Muhammad, this would have been contextualized as a terrorist attack, and they would have been shot dead on that Capitol lawn, and there would be no nuance about what happened. But because they happened to be white and maybe from Arizona or Georgia, etc., that made all the difference in the world, proving that privilege is connected to skin color and not simply the behavior for accountability. And so now he's done it. All right, we're going to continue to bring you updates. We got more to come.